Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Midnight Shadow, and today I'm going to be watching the reveal trailer for the newest Call of Duty game that is coming out to combat Battlefield 1, in which this new Call of Duty is called World War II, in which I feel like it has a play on what actually happened during World War II, or it could be a better version of Call of Duty 3 or 2, maybe. Who knows? But hopefully, this is going to be pretty exciting. Probably going to be a little interesting elements, even though there's not really much gameplay and it's just more trailer than anything else. But let's get into it. Actual in game footage. Hold on.
Souls will be shaken with the violences of war. In this hour of great sacrifice, we shall prevail.
Okay, so Sledgehammer is making it, and it's not Treyarch, unless Treyarch's going to help out with it.
Get your head down and keep moving!
Just turn that down so you can actually hear me.
We are all that separates the world from darkness. The enemy is ruthless. We cannot. We must not fail. We'll be first. Alright! I'll be there for you!
I'll give my thoughts at the end of this trailer.
Execute the mission. Get me the fuck out of here! How many? We had orders! Get the cover! Lieutenant, tell them what we're all about. No mission too difficult. No sacrifice too great. Welcome to the bloody first. You're a long way from Texas, by the way.
Yeah, there's also pre-order November 3rd.
Pre-order now and get access to the private beta.
The private beta. Alright, so, however, how I feel about this game coming out is that it seems like it's going to be interesting and it's going to, attempt to combat Dice's or Frostbite or the company that, the game development or game developers who made, or the studios that made Battlefield, such as Dice and whatnot, of Battlefield 1. This game is going to combat that because I feel like, even though you're making another type of 1945 in which when World War II ended, you're making another game based on that factor, even though Battlefield made a game based on the First World War, and now you're just revisiting the factor of World War II, in which, I mean, it looks interesting. I mean, it's probably fun to play. It's probably better than, more of the modern games such as Ghost, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, and throughout all the other modern warfares. Especially considering that, Sledgehammer did make Advanced Warfare. Infinity Ward made Ghosts, and Infinite Warfare, and the Modern Warfares. And Sledgehammer is now coming out with another game that I could have seen, or could have probably been better if it was made by Treyarch. I mean, honestly, what Treyarch, Sledgehammer, and Infinity Ward do with the Call of Duty series is completely up to them. But revisiting World War II seems to be, a repetitive thing that they're starting to do because, Battlefield made, or Dice made Battlefield 1, in which it's all based around World War One, and now there were so many different games of Call of Duty where it was based around World War Two, World War One. Then it went back to World War Two. Then it continued through World War Two, and then World at War came out, which was you playing as a Russian soldier or an American soldier, both fighting the Chinese and the Germans, but that was all based around World War II. It would have been more understandable if, this game was a basic remake of World at War, because I've read through the comments of this little video of this reveal trailer, and some people are stating that, it's basically a remastered version of Call of Duty 3. It's going to be a better version of that game. It's going to be so much more to combat Battlefield 1. But then again, I feel like, they should have remastered or remade World at War, or made, another sequel to Advanced Warfare, considering it is Sledgehammer's game that they are making, that they are developing, that is in development and will be released November 3rd. But however, with that stated, they could have, and Trier could have made a World at War II a, continuation to what actually happened in World War II, even though Sledgehammer is going to try to make that with this type of game. But however, with that said, I feel like it is going to be a good game. I feel like, that's what they're lacking in. That Call of Duty should, base their warfares or their type of shooting games or FPS shooters around the factor of more modern time, not like space age, not, in the robotic age, not just all based around that. Because honestly, with the Modern Warfare series, it was so much more better because it was more modern. It was modern to today's combat or today's wars that are fought today. But, if that's what they want to do, revisiting, the past, then I'll let them, decide that they're going to do that they're going to decide on doing so, because, it is their game and they're making it that way. But I feel like, it's so much repetition to World War II, World War One, the Cold War, the just in general wars that were just back in the past. Because this is just repetition. Looks good, looks great, looks like a good game. I mean, I would buy it and I would play it. But then again, all these World War games or Cold War, or just wars in general, just seem to be a repetition on top of a repetition on top of a repetition. But you know, once again, it looks good. I just feel like they're just repeating the process over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I mean, you only have a limited chance on what you can actually get based on World War II. Like, there's limited items, there's limited things that actually happen. I mean, why not make a game where, and I know that this is probably going to go into the factor of Castle Wolfenstein, but not, why not make a game stated that what happened with the other side? Like, what if the other side won? Like, the Germans won, the Chinese won, or just in general, what if they won? And I know that, Wolfenstein, the New Blood or New Order, or just in general with that game, is based on the factor of, what if the Germans won? What if Hitler was, supreme overlord of the entire country or countries and states and whatnot? But then again, it would be interesting to see it in that matter of play, in that matter of role, in that first person perspective. But it looks good. It probably plays good, and it probably is going to be good in general. I mean, as again, you only have a limit of resources to actually look back into the World Wars and bring what they had, the weaponry, the vehicles, the armor, just in general of what they did. And I see that, they're making it more dramatic. They're making it more, emotional. They're making you feel for the characters, because as you saw in the trailer, that another soldier punched another soldier in the face because, he was given orders to, I don't know, abandon his squad or abandon his, his team. And with that, it seems like it's going to be more emotional. It's going to be more story based, because that's, what Call of Duty really somewhat lacked in, because there wasn't really much story to their video games in general, because it was more action than story. But I feel like, considering that they did that with Black Ops 3, I don't know if they did it too much with Advanced Warfare. I know that they did it with Ghost, Advanced Warfare. I mean, the stories and the campaigns are pretty good, but if you really look at it, does it really seem like it has much emotion to it? Like, there's not that much emotional events, not that are occurring throughout the game. But I feel like through Infinite Warfare and Battlefield One, they're starting to get more high tech. They're starting to get more graphical, and that's what basically a game is. It's just for the factor of the graphics and how pretty it is and how you know devastatingly jaw dropping it's gonna be. But then again, I feel that with it getting more dramatic, getting more emotional, getting into how soldiers feel during this war, during that war, seem pretty interesting because they should put more emotion into it. They should put more feelings into it because someone dies. How's that person feeling? They can't just be like, oh yeah, let's move on. No, like put more emotion into it. But then again, we'll see what happens when the game actually comes out November 3rd. But anyway, Midnight Shout out, ladies and gentlemen.